Speaking of bring your own device, this is a trend that's growing. People like the machine that they like, and it may not align with the type of machine that the company wants to provide. I know a lot of times people thought bring your own device was the company didn't want to pay for the machine, but more and more it's about the employee. They like a Mac. They like
hmm
this version of a Dell. Um, what can a company do to protect themselves? Because even if they say we're not going to bring your own devices, employees are still logging on from home for various things or bringing an iPhone into the office.
hmm
How vulnerable does that make them, and are there certain things that they should be doing or should put in place to protect themselves?
Well, I'll answer the vulnerability question first. The worst case would be if someone's working from home, logging into an internal company network on the same home computer that the kids use after school. Because I'm sure the kids are following exactly the same security policies that everybody else should be following, right? So if any computer is going to be compromised, it could be that computer. What we're really looking at in all bring your own device or work mobile or work from home or just connecting up your iPhone to the company network, what we're really looking at is what resources do you really need to use on that device and do we trust that device? Ideally, most services that you would need to publish to that sort of staff group don't need to be internal to your company networks. They don't need to be inside a trust area. They could be a single application that's accessible through a web browser. Well, accessing an application through a web browser doesn't expose the application's back end to whatever happens to be on that particular computer. So I'm fine in most cases if you use a web browser to log into your email. I'm not particularly exposed on that. Granted, your email might be and your credential might be, but hopefully we have multi-factor authentication. So even if your credentials were violated, it can't capture that smartphone app that says, yes, I approve that login. So we're providing some protection there. It's important that we don't, in most environments, let untrusted devices connect to trusted networks. We're seeing an overall trend towards more of a service oriented architecture where rather than just saying by logging into the network, you've got access to everything because it's on our own servers, to more of a the network gets you internet access, but now you can access all the other tools, but you've got to log in or authenticate to the individual tools because they're not part of our internal network.
Talking about iPhones, everyone uses an iPhone or an Android of some sort to do most of their day-to-day operation. What can an organization do to protect the data that's out on that phone? Or is there anything they can do when that employee leaves to be able to make sure that their sensitive information doesn't walk out the door with them?
Sure. That ties well back into the policies discussion, which a lot of organizations at least want to have something in their employee handbook or a policy that says you can check your company email on your phone. You're not required to do so. But understand that if you do, the company has the right to wipe your device remotely. If for any reason you leave the organization or your phone gets compromised or your phone gets lost, we have the ability from an IT perspective, by virtue of you signing into the email account on the corporate account and giving us permission, we can then wipe your device. And so people have to then know that that's a possibility so they can take steps to back up their personal photos and their personal contacts and things. What you're really talking about is mobile device management and mobile application management, which are usually just add on corporate software that can be put on a phone. In a best case environment, you're running mobile application management and you're creating a sandbox on those mobile phones. The corporate IT is creating a sandbox on those phones that says, for all the corporate applications that you use as part of your job, they run in this sandbox on the phone. And the corporation or the company is then able to impose encryption on that or impose restrictions on you can copy and paste, but you can't copy out of the sandbox. You can't take like a client spreadsheet or something and copy it out to another application. A lot of companies just get started by saying, look, we realize that your phone has a built-in Apple email, regular Apple Mail on your phone. Don't add your corporate account to that. Install the Microsoft Outlook app. It's free. We're subscribed to it. Install that. That's where your corporate email has to live. So you get all the same features for your calendars, for your auto replies, for your forwarding, your contact lists that the rest of the company rely on. That also then gives the company a little bit of security about, well, yeah, that information is separate. And if we need to wipe the email off the phone, the rest of your phone is probably still going to be intact. So it helps protect you too.